seva. Serving man is serving God, but that is complete concoction. Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatri Vidir Vidam Aikantiki Harir Bhaktir Upatayaya Vakalpate. The people who make up their own philosophies and use the Vedas, so there's so many concoctions from using Bhagavad Gita and the Vedas. So that verse, Sanatana Goswami, who's a great Bengali saint, he's saying that those who concoct Shruti and Smriti, Aikantiki Harir Bhaktir, and they're devoid of devotion to Krishna, then there are Upatayava means they're a disturbance to human society. So we know that there are many philosophers in India who teach this idea that if you serve Daridra Narayan, they say that God is the poor man. Actually, that's not the Bhagavad Gita. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagata vyaktamurtina. Krishna says, I'm spread everywhere. And he says, aham sarvasya prabhavamataksavarna pravartate. That I am the source of both the spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So nowadays people want to, oh yeah, we give money, we give food, we feed the people. But actually, the economic situation can be solved by the performance of yajna. Third chapter Bhagavad Gita, Yagnartat Karmanani Acha Lokoyam Karma Bandhana. In that verse, Prabhupada explains in the purport that if people perform yajna to Vishnu or yajna to Krishna, then all the necessities of life will follow. Anad bhavati bhutani parjanya nasambhavat. Yajna bhavati parjanya. Right? So in Kali Yuga, Gauranga Mahaprabhu has appeared. He's Krishna himself. God appears. He appears in India. He doesn't appear in America or England. This is a great realization. This is like an amazing understanding. Like, you may be born in a religious family, but people outside of India, they don't know what God looks like. They don't even know God is a person. The most they have is some Bible, and there's not much there, not much knowledge there, and they don't understand that the Lord, the supreme absolute truth, is personal. Pudanti tat tattva vedasya jnanam tattvam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagwaniti shabdite. In fact, they don't even know that the soul living in all creatures, shetra jaman chapimam vidi sarvashetra trivarata, that one who has knowledge, he knows that every single body, whether it's an amoeba, a germ, or whether it's a demigod, all are they're all driven by the soul. They're all enlivened by the soul. The soul is the matrix of life. The seed of life is the soul. So therefore Krishna says, Aham bija pradapita, I'm the seed-giving father of all living creatures. So that knowledge is not there in the West. So now when people understand that, there's a high truth, the goal of human life is more than just economic development and so on, and that even you may feed people, there's still the problem of death. And what happens after death? Krishna says, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavan chajite ante kalevaram. And wherever your mind is at the time of death, if you're living like an animal, dvipada pushu, if you're living like a two-legged animal, and you're not interested in cultivating spiritual life, nayat karna patopeto jatu nama gadagaja. If you're not interested in hearing the glories of God under the guidance of a bona fide acharya like Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. These are great, powerful acharyas who are giving us this beautiful message, this beautiful treasure of life. That to make people satisfied, they first have to go to the root of all existence. Narada Muni mentions this. I believe it's in the 6th canto. Ita turor mula nisechanenya chupyanti tatskanda bhujopashakaha. You know that verse? Panoparachya yatindriyanam ita sarvanam deva achutya. That if you water the root, then all the branches, the twigs, the fruits, the leaves, the flowers, everything is nourished. So Krishna is the root. So we have to go to the root. He says to Arjuna, Mam Ekam, you surrender to me. All the other ideas, social philosophies, social ideas like Marxism, or so many different philosophers are there. These are come under the title of Upadi. Upadi means misconception of life. Sarv Upadi vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam rishikena sevanam bhaktir uchyate. It means that Lord Krishna Rishikesh is meant to be served by everyone. And all these misconceptions of life, I am a capitalist, I'm a communist, I'm an economist, I give in charity. I mean, even Ravana gave in charity. So, did he solve the problems of life? No, he was demonic. He was against God. So, in the 16th chapter, Krishna says that Yakshe Dashyami Modisha, that the demons, he thinks, oh, I'm so powerful. Ishvaraham Aham Bhogi, Siloham Balavan Sukhi. He thinks he's very powerful, and he's giving in charity to the poor people. And he's motivated. People are motivated by recognition, by some social position. And so they do these things not knowing that they're being blinded by the illusory energy of the Lord. Like they're all serving, but they're serving illusion. You can feed people till the end of time, but the body dies. What did you do? Like Mother Teresa, she came to India, people were vegetarian, she gave them cow's flesh. We're helping the poor people, and she transformed them from vegetarian, which is better karma. Now they're eating cows. They got so much bad karma for eating the cows. The serious karma that's described in the Srimad Bhagavad Purana 5th canto. Those who eat the cow or kill the cow, they take birth once in hell for each hair on the cow. Atmamata Guru Patnir Brahmani Gavahastini. Brahmani Gava, how's it go? That they're, Denu Dachi Tata Prithvi, that they're 7 mothers. Your own mother, the Guru's wife, Brahmani, Rajapatnika, the king's wife, the leader's wife. Denu Dachi Tata Prithvi, the cow, Mother Earth, and the nurse. So the cow is the mother. She's giving milk, prophets used to say. The cow is giving you milk, and cheese, and yogurt, dahi, so many things, ice cream. In America they love ice cream. Now in India they're liking it. So the cow is mother, and those who protect the cow, they get peace and happiness, just even if you just protect the cow. And all the devas are inside the cow. So the formula that Krishna is advocating and expounding on is to serve the root of the tree. If you want your body, your senses to become very strong, you go to the stomach. You feed the stomach. You don't push the out. One day, I was in a lecture with some big, my impersonalist philosophers and different philosophers. Say it's all one, it's all one. Whatever you do is good. You can serve any god you want. It's all impersonalism philosophy. Prabhupada said, really? He says, if I take some food and I push it here, does it nourish me? And then he went, if I push it here. That was very dramatic. He just insulted these people, these rascals. He said, you're a rascal, he says, simply bewildering and misguiding people. Brahma Satya and Jagan Mitra, they say the world is false, so we should, well, if the world is false, well, why are you so busy serving the poor? It's false, why bother? It's a foolish philosophy. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu really condemned this ideas. And of course, India and the whole world is overrun by this nirvishesha shunyavad. We just serve the body. There's no God. Asatyam apratishtam te jagadahuranishvaram. In the Gita, Krishna is saying that they think that life is just temporary. Everything is a body. And the new atheists, Richard Dawkins, these new atheists, they say that we're just, by some luck, we're products of molecules. And the molecules just happen to come together, and you got some very primitive organisms, and then by some natural selection and genetic mutation, gradually you got lizards, and then the lizards became like vertebrate mammals, and you got fish. Total nonsense. They have no idea, and now they've understood that this theory of Darwin, it's inadequate. Natural selection on genetic mutation is inadequate to produce more and more advanced species. But this is what they're promoting, and they say that we're simply, just by chance, we're just by random forces, we've evolved into humans. Just by random forces, and there's no purpose in life. There's no value to life. You're just a product of matter. You're just matter, basically, prakriti. But we know that they cannot produce life. They can't produce life. They don't know what consciousness is. Aparayamitastvanyam prakriti vinime param jiva bhuta mahabaho yayedam darjike jagat. Krishna says that the soul is supporting the prakriti. Bhumir apulano vayu kamano buddhi evacha. Ahankara itiyame bina prakritir ashtada. That there is matter, prakriti, and then there is purusha, or the soul within matter. And that all the species of life are generated carefully, and Lord Brahma is empowered to produce all the various species of life along with the Prajapatis. So we challenge them, first of all. It's kind of a very strong attack on atheism, because atheism is actually a strong religion. It's the religion of no God. And when you attack someone's belief system, when you attack the very core of their belief, and they're all driven by this belief, they become very angry. They become outraged. They say, crush the Hare Krishnas, crush them. So this is going on all over the world. So this social kind of philosophy, where we have to, the best service is to, just give some charity to people and so on. It has to be related to Krishna. Krishna says, Yat karoshi yadashdashi yad johoshi dadasi yad. Yatapasvati Kunteya Tat Kurushunam Madarpanam. So if you want to give in charity, if you want to feed the poor, feed them prasad. One who gets prasadam, Prabhupada said, they get at least a human body in the next life. Neha Vikamranasosti Pratibharadna Vidyate Swapamapya Smadharmasya Chaitamato. The greatest fare is taking birth in the animal kingdom. Tata Pralinas Tamasa Mudo Jona Sujayate. Krishna tells Arjuna that if you die in a mode of ignorance, what is the mode of ignorance? Non-veg. It's mode of ignorance. Intoxication, mode of ignorance. If you die on the lower modes, you don't get a human birth, you get an animal birth. It's there right in the Bhagavad Gita. Do you believe Krishna? Right. So the business of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, he's the most magnanimous, Mahavadanyaya. He's the most magnanimous because he's giving us the ultimate purpose of our lives, the ultimate treasure, which is how to love God. And of course, Krishna says, Yoga Kshemam Bahamyaham. If you teach someone to become a devotee, and they become a devotee, Krishna says, I supply whatever you need, and I protect whatever you have, so you don't have to worry. Economically, everything is fine. Everything will... Krishna is Supreme Lord. Nitya Nityana Chaitana Chaitananam. He is the supplier of everyone, all living beings. Elephants, ants, germs, butterflies, demigods, all are being supplied by Krishna. So that is the highest understanding. Otherwise, it's simply a useless waste of time. When, you meet people, the communists, for example, Karl Marx and Engels, became very popular in Bengal. What happened? Did they please the people? Are people happy with the communists? If you speak to a Russian about communism, they hate it. Karl Marx didn't care about the soul and God. He pretty well tried to eliminate God. And obviously it didn't work. Cheto Darpana Marjanam. First of all, if you become a leader and your heart is full of greed, like Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, if you identify with this body, you're in the mode of passion. Therefore, in the mode of passion, what happens? Lobha, praviti maramba, you become greedy. All your values are all about how much money I can get, how much luxuries I can enjoy, how much sense pleasure I can enjoy. Mode of passion, which doesn't give people happiness. But so someone has to be a leader. So the communist leaders, they're simply draining the blood of the followers. They're just drinking their blood because they're ignorant. They're blind. Blind leading the blind. Yesham kupata destrinam. Kupata means bad philosophy, bad path. Patatam tamasi yaleya. This is called nescience. In the Upanishads, they say nescience. It drives one into the lower species of life, and it drives one into the hellish planets. So our business as devotees is to give the greatest welfare work. To give people Krishna Bhakti Yoga. And Dharmasya hi apavargasya. Give people the real Dharma. That is devotional service to the Lord. Savaipum Sampuro Dharma. The highest Dharma is devotion to Krishna without any material desires, without any motives, and without any interruption. It's constantly remembering the Lord, Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakto, and so on, using whatever talent you have. If you're going to be a businessman, engineer, mystery, whatever you're going to be, you use that in the service of Krishna. Most of you are what? Science or commerce or arts? What? Engineering. engineer, basically a high-class Sudra. High-class Sudra. Like in Canada, so many engineers from India. And they're just manipulating material, mechanical engineer, civil engineer. It's all basically Kalua Sudra Sambhava. And they get good money, but they always have to pay the capitalists. Bill Gates, he's worth billions, and Bill Gates says, oh, come on, be IT engineer from India, good, I'll give you $250,000 a year. He's making billions of dollars. He's throwing some scraps to, the engineer. Here, $250,000. Good money. So that's how it works. It's called Ajagata Vritti. Means the philosophy of the snake. The mouse makes a hole and the snake just waits. Once the hole is made, the snake comes in and eats the mouse and lives in the hole. So Prabhupada said that's capitalism. They control the money, they control the capital, they have lots of money, and someone goes and studies hard, using his brain to get, learn how to be an engineer, and he goes door to door knocking on doors, please hire me, please hire me. I said, just like the dog that wants a master. The dog's looking for a master, so capitalist says, oh sure, come, I'll hire you. Meanwhile, like Jeff Bezos, he's a gazillionaire, right? Amazon, and he doesn't pay taxes. The very rich, they never pay tax. They just hire a huge dream team of lawyers, and these lawyers know all the tricks how to avoid. And the poor engineers, they're working hard, they have to pay the tax. They're supporting the capitalists. So unfortunately what happens is that no one becomes happy and they start having wars or conflicts, so many things, Kali Yuga. So our businesses, whatever we do it for Krishna, and follow this path. With great enthusiasm, Utsahan Nishya Dharya, Tat Karma Pravartana, Sangutyada, Sato Vrite. Follow in the footsteps of the great devotees of the Lord. Those of you who were born in Bharat Bhumi, is a very good birth. You must have done some pious activity. Yesham Tudantakatham Papam Janana Punya Karmanam. So it's a punya of good birth. This is where Lord Ram, walked, and the Pandavas, Ekachakra. These are great, great heroes, great devotees of the Lord. Krishna. God walked around all over India, all these holy places. This is the land of rishis and devas. Devas used to come and see Krishna in Dwarka. Narada Muni would come, Lord Shiva would visit Krishna. All the devas would come to see the Lord in Vrindavan. They don't go to America. Yeah, I don't want to go see that Joe Biden or Trudeau in Canada, no. So it means in previous lifetimes, Krishna says, that you had exonerated yourself from sinful activities. You take a birth in India, so you have to use it, capitalize on it, use it to your advantage. So at the time of death, you can just go back to the spiritual world, right? Easy process. Very easy process. Harinam, 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 Eva Kevalam. Kalua Nastyeva, 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 Katiranyata. So, we are very fortunate. Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Krishna, has come. He's giving us so much fortune by giving us these holy names. Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sharva Shaktish. In the holy name, all the Shakti is there. Krishna Shakti, God Shakti. I mean, he said, Yad Yad Vibhuti Mat Satvam Shimat Gurvitam Eva Cha. Evava, Tatevava Vagachatram, Mamute Jamsa. Like we think the sun is real powerful. Krishna says just a spark of my potency. The sun, the moon, all the things you're seeing. He says just a little tiny little spark of my potency. So all his potencies is in the holy name. All those potencies, you think the sun is powerful? The holy name is millions of times more powerful than the sun. So we have this mercy by the grace of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada's struggled, go out of India, go to America. And the point is, like, you can ask my wife, people have a nice house, a nice car, nice job, and they're completely miserable. They work, they pay the bills, they pay the taxes, and to get some relief, they go to the bar every night. Take some drinks or take some drugs or smoke. Because the people want to have some kind of relief. They work like slaves, like donkeys. They're like donkeys. So that's the thing that Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, took Prabhupada over to a place where everyone thinks, oh, it's so nice. You know, it looks so nice. Skyscrapers. Prabhupada says skyscrapers. And when he got there, he saw that people are under the Rajagun, Tamagun, not even Sattvagun. And he was wondering how will they hear the message, but some people are interested. Yeah, they're interested. They realize that material things don't give them any peace or happiness. In fact, it creates a lot of misery. So it's the life of, this is world of misery. It's not the American dream, it's the American nightmare. So we have to embrace this Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya and take it seriously and engage with great enthusiasm and patience and determination. Hare Krishna. Any questions or discussion?
Guruji, I have one question.
Sure.
Like we see Indian youths, they are losing interest in their own culture. So how do we inspire them that yes, you should?
Yeah, I lived in India for 5-6 years, 83 to 89. And at that time, ISKCON had 15 temples in India. Was anyone here born 83? No? Okay. A long time ago. But we had only maybe 15, maximum 15. Mumbai, Calcutta, Delhi, Madras, a couple more, Bangalore, Hyderabad, you know. Maybe, how many temples in India now?
100
Over, well,
800.
how many?
300.
300 temples in India? So, it's spreading. It's spreading like exponentially. And people see that Westerners, you know, why are they, you know, giving up meat, giving up this materialistic life, coming to India. I mean, materially, India is austere. It's the land of tapasya. You know, in the West, everything is like materially very nice, but the mind is always in agitation. Mind is always because of the situation there, but materially it's too much luxury, and it's all materialistic. So Western people know that it's an illusion, it's like a desert. Jalam Tadu Pravaishchanam. The deer is standing in the grass in the forest, and under the grass there's water. And he looks out in the desert, and he sees, what is it called? A mirage. It looks like water, right? And he runs out to the desert to get water. That's what it's like. The whole Western, this whole Ugura Karma, industry, technology, rockets, all this stuff. It's just like a big mirage. One time, they asked Prabhupada, so Swami, if you know God, you must know everything. Do you know how many do you know how many windows are in that skyscraper over there?
Master building.
Was it? I mean, it said, how much water is there in a mirage? Something like that. How much water is there in a mirage? Like that. So people are seeing, you know, like when I'm in our place, Canada, the Hindu society, they're amazed because they go there and they forget God. A lot of them just forget. They get like, woo, you know, and they say, you know, we feel bad because we're born over in India and we're forgetting about our culture. And so many of them forget the culture, like they make a lot of money because the Vedic culture, it's a buddhi yoga. It's a brain culture. So all the brain drain that's over there. They call it brain drain at IIT. But once they get there, like they eat cows. South Indian Brahmin guys, now they're big engineers, they say, why do you eat cows? You're born Brahmin? Oh no, it's Canadian cows. They justified their behaviors because they become overwhelmed by Maya. Maya is very powerful. And many of the students, because I preach at the universities, so only about 10% of the Indian students, there's lots of Indian students there. They get good education, you know, they always get high marks. Only 10%, you know, come to me and help me and do Krishna consciousness. Most of them, they become totally like hypnotized by sense pleasure and nice car. And they just really, they see this big cheesecake, you know. I want some cheesecake, it's a big ice cream. They want it, you know, and so it's unfortunate. But many students, some of the students, they realize that, you know, this is all nonsense. And so they join our ISKCON, yeah. So it's a good point that a lot of these, the students, you know, they're moving towards the Western culture. The problem is that they're just like flies going into a fire, you know. They just burn up in a fire. It's a nice fire. Like the flies, they love the light. They go to the light, they get burnt. This is the problem. But then again, ISKCON's growing in India, in the West, like US, Canada, those countries, England. Many Indians, they come to the temple and they become devotees and they help, you know, spread the movement of Lord Chaitanya. Yeah. And many of them are very wealthy. Actually, the Indian community in America has now become #1 ethnic group in material success, economic success. Used to be Jews. Used to be the Jews, but the Indians have surpassed them. I phoned my friend, I preached him at IIT. He got scholarship to big university in Texas. And he told me that the whole area where all the Indians, they like to live together, and they're all engineers. They're all from IIT. He said all their employees are now the white guys. He has 250 engineers who work for him. He has a big company. He got a PhD in chemical engineering at the Rice University, which is top university for chemistry. And he said, I have 250 employees, they're all white. So he says, we're a little afraid because we're so successful. I think these Americans are going to start hating us. They might get jealous. So, yeah, even if you're successful and you have this background, this ancestry of rishis and devas, don't forget that that brain you have is God's gift, and you use it for Krishna. Don't use it just so you can have a really big house in Texas. Like this devotee, I just met him at IIT. I was knocking on doors and I preached to him, became a devotee. It's quite easy. Just go door to door. And you start discussing, he was Mayavadi, Vivekananda. And I just said, no, God is a person. And gradually, he became a devotee. And he built a temple in America. He built it all by himself, just financed the whole thing because he's really wealthy now. But he's a very humble devotee. So, you can, whatever you have, you use it in Krishna's service. Don't forget Krishna is my point.
Can I offer a little point? Can I offer? Prabhu, what is your name?
My name is Yash
Yash?
Paswan.
Nice to meet you. Very nice question. So, my suggestion to you is by living your life as a devotee, you will be an example. So just by being friends, when you see your colleagues forgetting their culture, just by you embracing your culture, being kind, bringing prasadam, being their friend, you will remind them of their culture. So just by being you, and also being a little fearless in chanting and preaching, and understanding that Krishna will protect you and give you the knowledge to share with your friends. So when you do see people, your colleagues, your student faculty around you forgetting their culture, just remember that by you being a devotee, you will remind them and bring them. So please, all of you do that. And trust in Srila Prabhupada's message and share it and be very nice. Be kind, be a good friend. And then, because what people want is that spark that's inside you. And by sharing that, they'll be inspired to come back.
Haribo.
Haribo. More question? Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for your wonderful class. Prabhu, my question was that how to be firmly restricted in our Krishna consciousness in tough situations. Like we hear classes regularly to depend on Krishna and regularly on this, but in tough situations, Maya inflict upon us that you should make your own efforts. Okay, Lord's mercy is there, but that agitation is there. So how to be firmly restricted and convicted that yes, Krishna is the ultimate product of Gop Tirtha Varnantadam.
That's a good question. You want to take that one?
I didn't get
It says that he says that in life, in student life, we preach, you have to be Krishna conscious, you have to pray to Krishna, depend on Krishna, but there's just so much challenges in life. You have to get good grades, you have to have some financial stability and these things, so how can you keep going, right? How can you survive when you run into problems? Well, Queen Kunti ran into problems. right? The Pandavas. Just because you're a pure devotee doesn't mean Krishna's not going to put you in a bad situation. Because she prayed, Vipadata Shantitasha Tatatachantagadguru. She says, I hope more calamities come my way because then I can see you again and again and thus stop the repetition of birth and death. But Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada used to say, it's not easy. Devotional service is not easy. And it's a full lifetime. So it's a gradual thing. We have to try and control our mind. That means wake up early. Jeev jago, jeev jago. Gora chanda bole, kutani jo jayo mayo. So the sadhana bhakti is important. That we have to have a good regulation. We have to get up early and chant the japa 2 hours a day. That gives us strength. So getting up early is very important. That is called Pancharachaki Vidhi. Arti, Tulsi Puja, Bhagavatam class, 16 rounds, morning program. And then we also we get strengthened when we're trying to share Krishna. When you tell people about Krishna, even a little bit, Krishna does like a reciprocation in your heart. He just gives you so much bliss and ecstasy. So it keeps you alive. Otherwise, sometimes, mechanical chanting, mechanical reading. There has to be vigyan, like experience, the nectar. When we chant today, did you taste some Ananda? You get it? Right? So we always want to associate with devotees and do some chanting. Public chanting is the most powerful because Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, they went public. They didn't stay at home. It's called Bhajananandis. No, we don't want to be Bhajananandis. There's the bell. Time to take rest. We want to be Gostyanandis. We want to share this. Because by sharing, you get more reciprocation from Lord Chaitanya. Yasya prasada bhagavat prasado, yasya prasada nakatika topi. Prabhupada always said, if you want to please me, you try to preach as vigorously as I did. He begged us, We were actually in the beginning, when I first met Srila Prabhupada, we're just interested in our own Ananda. We would go out and chant for 6 hours. We were kids, we were 20 years old. And we'd feel really high, really blissful. Wow, 6-7 hours on the streets of America, you get really happy and blissful. And then Prabhupada said, but you're not distributing my books. He said, this is more important. He says, Brihat Madanga. He said, you can chant and people go away. Oh, Hare Krishna. But in the house, when they read Bhagavad Gita, transforms their mind, their hearts, And that Gita, Prabhupada said, that is not different from Krishna. It's the book Bhagavat. Person Bhagavat, book Bhagavat. So he started telling us, you have to distribute my books. We weren't distributing his Bhagavad Gita so much, we just go chant Hare Krishna, give some back to God and magazine. He said, no, every house should have Bhagavad Gita, every house should have Bhagavatam set. That's what he told us. So that's when the movement really took off, 1972. It just exploded. And many, very big scholars wrote about this Hare Krishna explosion. Guys in the streets wearing we used to buy sheets. We never came to India yet. So we go to the store and we buy a cotton sheet, and then we cut it and we dye it. Sometimes we dye it pink. So we got the wrong colors. Why are you wearing pink? What is this? That's how it started, just sheets and t-shirts. And then they come to the temple and they see we were dancing around a little plant who wore a skirt. What plant wears a skirt? What are you guys doing? And then we bow down. And one time, you must have heard of Las Vegas. It's like a place where everyone goes and gambles. It's like it's a huge illusion. It's these massive buildings, like it's just like a dream, And people from all over the world go there to gamble. So we go there and we're doing Harinam, and we were taught that prasad is very sacred, so you can't let it drop on the ground. So we made popcorn prasadam. There were some of the boys that joined were like 15, 16, and they were like not very mature, and so sometimes people they would either throw the what is this, and they'd throw it. And this one guy, 15-year-old guy, he's kind of fanatic. Oh my God, you're throwing prasadam on the ground. And the ground's very dirty there, the sidewalk. He's picking it up and eating. And these American people are looking at us like, brainwash. They couldn't believe it, What? You don't sleep on a bed? Because we're brahmachari, we just sleep on, like a little, not even a mattress, mats, we're like, yeah, brahmachari, And, what, you don't have a wife? It's America, gotta have a lady. They couldn't believe it, brainwash. They're sleeping, their parents are, working hard to have a nice home, buy a new car, American dream. And then we dropped out, we left all that, vairagya. We're sleeping on the floor. You don't eat meat? You're gonna die. You don't eat meat. They're like so traumatized that their kids are not eating meat and sleeping on the ground, and we're not working. We just go out and preach every day. They thought we were really brainwashed. They couldn't understand. So that's how the movement started. Prabhupada, he was quite amazed that it was young people. Majority of us were under 30, under 25. And we were rebelling against the modern society, the materialistic society. Completely rebelling, just like, I was in college, I dropped out of college. My parents said, what, you're not going to be an engineer? No. I'm going to be a brahmachari devotee. We want grandkids, sorry. Yeah, they couldn't understand because most people in Canada and America were immigrants, so they came from places that had problems, like Europe, and war was going. They work so hard, get a nice house. And then their kid says, this is a big illusion. They reject it. So they were upset. But we say everything belongs to Krishna. You can be a householder, you can have a home, but you take whatever you need. You don't overindulge. You don't need a $30 million house like Bill Gates. His house is $30 million. You don't need a house like that. Or these millionaires in Mumbai, right? They are big show, right?
Ambani.
Is that his name? Armani? Big millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire.
Can I offer a comment? Prabhu, your name? Shivraj. Hare Krishna. So, along with the Maha Mantra, there's another mantra that you can take into your heart. And this mantra is always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. So as you're progressing in life and you might find yourself getting a little distracted, you make the choice at that moment. Always remember Krishna and never forget. So at every moment you're making a choice. And the other thing is what Nitai Prabhu has established here is sadhu sangha, is having your Saturday night, you have it with devotees. You're chanting with devotees. You have a program. You invite them to your home. You read. You have prasad, kirtan. It's perfect. So putting these little landmarks in your daily life will help keep Maya at bay. But she will be there. She will be there to say, hello, I've owned you for many, many lifetimes. And now you're going to this blue boy with a peacock feather? No, I'm coming to get you. So she will be there. So you have to understand that. And guard yourself. So you will surround yourself with an army of other devotees around you to help protect you. Guru, Vaishnavas, the holy name. So to always remember Krishna and never forget him. So this is my little suggestion for you as you go into the world and you're making the money, you're giving it for your family, you're progressing in your education, to try to remember Krishna at every moment, because you'll be given a choice. Do I turn left or do I turn right? So sometimes you might turn left, but then quickly you can turn right again. Krishna is very merciful and he's just waiting. So just remember.
What if there's no left turn?
No, but that is the left turn, that's Maya. Here.
Thank you, Kripanidhi.
Thank you for the wonderful. Like we are distributing Bhagavad Gitas in Durgapur and many other places. So my question is that how can we can we distribute Bhagavatam directly to non-devotees, and how can we distribute Bhagavatam?
Shrimad Bhagavatam. Yeah, it's important. Okay, so now you're talking about, I don't know how many, 8,000 rupees, 9,000 rupees.
That's English 10,000.
English? People buy English Bhagavatam?
Yes.
Oh, those are more expensive.
Now it's
12,000. What we did was, of course, like if you're a student studying, you might find time-wise it's a little hard, What you can do is when you sell the Gita, if someone's extremely interested, or you see as a person is interested and he also looks like he can afford it, you take their names and you cultivate them. You make friends, like Kunamai is saying, you make friends. And you win their hearts first. You make friends. We used to go door to door knocking on doors and showing books. And then sometimes you will inevitably run into people who have money, but they may be very interested. And then you can say we have what we call spiritual encyclopedia. That's what we call it in the West. Spiritual encyclopedia. And it's full knowledge of reincarnation and so on. And many times we would organize it, people would actually be interested. So what we would do is we'd say, we can have a program at your home. And if you want, these Bhagavatams are not different from Narayan, person Bhagavat, book Bhagavat. We can put it on an altar for you, and we can do a kind of installation ceremony. Like it's almost like a deity. It's like a deity. So we do that in the West. Vaisheshika Prabhu taught us to do that. Yeah, I don't know the situation in India, but in the West, people are just interested in anything that's different. Like you're interested in astrology, Ayurveda, yoga, astral stuff, psychic stuff. Are you a psychic? Can you tell me my future? All this kind of stuff. There's people that are interested in that. Some people I've met people that are just interested in Sanskrit. And they'll buy the book just because it's got Sanskrit. What another way is, if you were preaching and you meet a very pious businessman, he has a lot of money, you ask him, could you please sponsor for Gita Jayanti or for this, whatever, Ram Navami, whatever, can you sponsor for your family one set of Bhagavatams? And they get a tax deductible receipt from ISKCON. And then what I used to do is if I met someone really interested in a Bhagavatam and they said, I can't afford it, and I would give them the Bhagavatam for a donation. I've done that many times. In Canada, the Indian community during Gita Jayanti, they'll give me like a few $1,000s, but they don't want to read the books. They're like, oh no, I'm too busy, I'm a doctor, I'm a this, I'm a that. And they're not really, and they eat me, so they have no real taste for Krishna consciousness, but they know they should support it. So then I go to people who are like into yoga, vegetarians, a lot of vegetarians now all over the world, and they're really interested. Oh, from India, yeah. You just say India and they're like, spiritual, okay, spiritual, India, Himalayas, yogis, rishis, that's what they think. And I've had people take Bhagavatams for a donation. And, then they phone me up 2 years later and say, yeah, I've read the 8 cantos and I'm chanting Hare Krishna. And I attend Zoom class, Bhagavad Gita Zoom class. So I've had that happen. So when you're talking about 9,000-10,000 rupees, you have to see if you can get sponsors. And also if you meet very, very receptive people, and then you cultivate them, you just cultivate them. And many of people who are business people, they have money, right? Right? Those people, they can afford 9,000-10,000 rupees. So different ways of doing it. In the West, it's a little different. We can get a list of there's companies that collect different interest groups. Like companies, they'll collect names of people who are into martial arts. China, Japan, and martial arts. Everyone likes martial arts in the West. And there's companies that get a list of people who are interested in psychic phenomena and aliens and this kind of stuff. So they'll give you the list, you buy the list, and then you phone them up. You say, hello. Have you heard about aliens? Say, look, the universe is full of aliens. All the planets are inhabited, and we can show you information about this. And you make an appointment, and you go, and they say, yeah, and you go to their homes, and then you come with the Bhagavatam, and you go, you show like, Kardama Muni coming down on with a plane, and a Devayuti and a big aerial plane. What do you call those?
Swan plane.
Swan airplanes and all these things, and yogis expanding themselves, and all these things are in the Bhagavatam, Astras and so many things, and they get really interested. And usually people can afford it. And you can, I know in Mayapur, Brahma devotees are preaching and selling Bhagavatams. For somehow they can give people payment plan. Like, you can pay it off in 1 year, 12 payments. You can pay it off in 6 months, 6 payments. So I would direct you to find out more about that from Nitai Chandra Yamai.
So your question was, is it okay to distribute Bhagavatams to non-devotees? Was that your question?
No, Mother.
Oh, sorry, I thought I understood that.
How to distribute?
How to?
Yeah, it's a good desire, and you just have to try. I've had times when I just tried, and out of the blue, like one guy, he was my accountant in Canada, and he's Indian. He's from, I don't know, UP or Punjab. And he said, you know, my son's becoming completely westernized, and he's forgetting his roots. I said, you should get a Bhagavatam. And I said, look, I've got a few Bhagavatam sets, I'll give you a deal. So he said, yeah, I want my son, you know, when my son's studying history in the West, they're only learning about Europe. They learn about Roman Empire, Greek Empire, you know, Nazis, and Karl Marx, communist, that's what they learn. He says, what about the history of India? I said, yeah, Srimad Bhagavatam. So he bought it out of fear that his son, he didn't want his son to lose the culture, you know, like, it's very, very powerful, the Maya, you know, very powerful. So he wants his son to preserve that culture, and he wants his son to get married to a nice Indian girl. It doesn't want, because if they marry a white girl, then it's all about meat and alcohol and cigarettes, you know. So that's how he bought a Bhagavatam. So you'll find people that you can preach to them, this is your culture, your children are getting westernized, you know, you have to bring them, you know, make sure they grow up with your culture. Or else they'll be, you know, I go to Calcutta and all the students are smoking. More than Canada, more than America. Everyone's smoking, girls are smoking. Also. In Canada, like we know, you're smoking, you're gonna die of cancer, so no one smokes. Because you've seen all these people dying from cancer. So now the big cigarette companies come to Asia, and they're selling, so cancer kills, no question. Cigarettes kill people, no question. Slow death. But I noticed all students when I was in Calcutta, we were in Calcutta. And, you know, even the girls,